Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about truck freight over the next 10 years. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses and your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased and owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep on coming, and let's talk truck freight. ATA did a fairly large analysis, and a caveat with this, guys, ATA's data set is comprised of primarily very large trucking companies. So what we're going to be doing with this data, just positive data for the trucking industry over the next decade, is to look at it from a very general and a very much a macro look at this data. It's still very useful, even for those of you guys who are more under the representation of OIDA in that data set, because you guys are usually smaller companies, 1, 2 trucks, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, whatever it might be. You still wouldn't qualify really in that to be in that big conglomerate data set of the with the ATA. Now, with that out of the way, let me warn you, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I think that you're going to get a lot from it. So what's going to happen between 2025 and 2035, especially those of you guys who are younger, entering the market, entering the industry, or been in the industry for a couple of years, a year or two? This is definitely going to be very helpful, especially coming out of a freight recession. We're at the very beginning of those stages. Guys, moving on, truck freight is expected to increase by 24% by 2035. You heard it right, over the next decade. It will be reaching 14 billion tons in terms of truck freight. Now, I have a quote here by Bob Costello. You guys have certainly heard the name, as ATA Chief Economist. He says that we project that market share to hold over the next decade as the country continues to rely on trucking to move the vast majority of freight. It's no secret, trucking does move the vast majority of freight, continues to be the case. I always mention this, or from time to time, that the United States is built around the interstate system, unlike Europe, for example, that's built around the rail system. So trucking is not going anywhere. You're more likely to have automation and artificial intelligence take over than trucking to disappear as a mode of transportation. So things are looking good in that sense. Now, the industry revenue is expected to climb from $906 billion, which was 2024 numbers, we just closed that year up, to grow to $1.46 trillion with a T by 2035. And Bob continues here. He says that the trucking industry continues to dominate the freight transportation industry in terms of both tonnage and revenue, comprising 72.7% of tonnage and 76.9% of revenue in 2024. That's very telling. Now, let's look at some of the other modes, right? So you have rail, you have air, things like that. Rail freight is expected to decline from 10.6% to 9.9% of freight tonnage by 2035. Good news for trucking. Maybe that's where the increases are coming. Now, on the other side, you have intermodal rail tonnage. That is actually expected to grow steadily at a good rate, 2.9% annually through 2030. If I remember right, it was 2.8% from 2031 through 2035, I believe. So very steady growth for intermodal rail tonnage. Those of you guys dealing with that part of the industry, certainly something to consider over the next decade. Now let's talk air cargo. There's waterborne shipping. We've talked a lot about that in previous videos. I'll leave cards throughout this video so you guys can reference that material. There's also pipeline, things like that. So we're talking significant tonnage increases through 2025, through 2035, excuse me. So over the next 10 years for air, water, and pipeline work. The ATA report shows that trucking is absolutely an essential aspect of transportation. It plays an essential role in moving the U.S. economy forward. We continue to do so. You just have to, work with the market, and as things improve, you have to kind of, roll with the punches, if you will. Now, understanding long-term freight trends is absolutely crucial for truckers. Now, here we have the ATA president and CEO, Chris Spear. Now, he's not referring to truckers here. He says, understanding the trends in our supply chain should be key for policymakers in Washington, in state houses around the country, and wherever decisions are being made that affect trucking and our economy. So I ask you guys, isn't it important for you to have that knowledge? I would say that knowledge of the next decade's growth, of the next decade's market tendencies, trajectory, where are things going? We're always covering the LMI, the Logistics Managers Index. We just did a video about that a week ago or so. All of these things can help truckers prepare strategically. And I urge you guys to do that. Now, there's a couple of takeaways here before I switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads for our customers. There's some good and bad news. The good news is that we've been doing this for over a decade. We've been relying on this data, using this data, market trends. Our dispatcher's been around for a long time. This is not their first rodeo. The bad news is that you're not a customer. Likely you're not a customer more. So I urge you guys to start 2025 strong, get started. There's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. Very, very likely there's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. Anyway, guys, questions, comments, and concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads that we book for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, this week's numbers are truly impressive. Definitely stick around to the very end. Every one of these is better than the next. Let's go ahead and get started with Ronald. He's pulling reefer coming out of Chicago, Illinois, going to Maple Heights, Ohio. Light load, 22.5 on the weight, a dairy product. 348 loaded miles, booked at $1,400, got on 402 a loaded mile. Not too shabby. Also great on the next one out of Massillon, Ohio to Haines City, Florida. It's a 35,000 pound load of food products. -1 on the reefer, 1,015 loaded miles, booked at $3,500, got him 345 a loaded mile. Then Atlanta, Georgia, coming out to London, Kentucky, 42.5 load of weight of Sunny Delight juice, temp on 35 to 45 degrees on a reefer. Very, very reasonable. 308 loaded miles at $855. Got them 278 loaded mile. Then right out of London, Kentucky, zero deadhead coming out to Atalala, Alabama. It's a 35,000 pound load of frozen bakery. -10 to 0 on the reefer. 276 loaded miles, booked at $1,425, got him an awesome 516 a loaded mile. And here's the kicker. Ronald, that was it. 6 days on the road, Thursday to Wednesday, ended up grossing $7,180 in gross. Now, here's the big kicker. He did a ton of deadheading, but this is where it's a friend. And in fact, we made a video about this 2 to 3 years ago. I'll try to find it and leave you a little card in the corner. But here's the kicker. 1,947 loaded miles. That got him $7,180 in gross, which is $369 a loaded mile. Now, with a ton of deadhead, we're talking 514 miles of deadhead. He ended up bringing it down to 292. So even with deadhead, where you're running absolutely empty, saving a ton on fuel, and it can be to your benefit, as we can see in Ronald's case. Despite the total deadhead, it's an excellent job, tons of money, an excellent rate, just 6 days of work, very good gross, a great average, absolutely fantastic dispatching. And Ronald, you did really well yourself. That's an excellent job, guys. Excellent rates. Next, moving on to, let's take a look. Next, we got Tarik and his dry van. Now, this one is another great example. That was deadheading. This is what we call performance. Tarik did 2 loads, Holland, Michigan, in his dry van coming out to Nampa, Idaho. Long run, 43K on the way, storage products, 1,842 loaded miles, booked that at $3,700. Got him 201 a loaded mile. Now get this, on the way back at Weiser, Idaho, coming out to Plant City, Florida, tons of miles, 45,000 pound load, heavy load of palletized onions. It was a vented van requirement. He's got his van vented. It was a protect from freeze loads. He had some propane heaters that were used to keep that rolling. 2,709 loaded miles coming out to Florida. $7,200 booked, got him 266 a loaded mile. Now get this, not 6 days, 7 days, Monday to Monday, but Tarik ended up grossing $10,900 in gross, just under 11K, ran a ton of miles, 4,551 loaded miles. Now, a lot of you guys will argue with me, as you do with these guys that run a ton of miles. This was purely efficient, as he only ran 57 miles a deadhead, so barely moved his rate, which was 240 a loaded mile, dropped it to 237 with deadhead included. Tarik, absolutely fantastic job. Don't pay attention to the haters. I know you did this the right way. Your hard work truly paid off, and You utilize absolutely every minute of your driving time efficiently and achieved an impressive gross for the entire week. And these are the notes coming in from dispatch. So I really appreciate the guys, and dispatch did a fantastic job. Almost 11K, 240 a loaded mile, 237 with deadhead included. An excellent job, Tarik. Moving on to Michael, dry van, pulling out of Buell, Idaho, coming out to Canton, Massachusetts. Not a long run for Michael. 42.5 on a load of retail goods, 2,563 loaded miles, booked at $6,800. Got him 265 a loaded mile coming out there. On the way back, not too shabby. Looks like Leominster, Massachusetts to Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Close run, 43K of car care products. So 310 loaded miles, booked at $850, got him 274 a loaded mile. And that was it. Also very efficient. Friday to Thursday, 6 days on a road, $7,650 in gross, ran 2,873 loaded miles, only 53 miles a deadhead. So that got him 266 a loaded mile and dropped him down to 261 with deadhead included. So again, excellent work, just 6 days, good numbers. Really, really good stuff. So excellent job, sir. Moving on to another dry van driven by Shelby. Shelby did a different approach, right? Multiple shorter runs. Aberdeen, South Dakota, coming out to Ronald, Texas, a light load, 8,500 pounds of air filters. It's 930 miles, booked at $2,700, got him 290 a loaded mile. Then Garland, Texas to Kansas City, Missouri. It's a 11,600 pound load, light load of empty plastic containers. 500 miles on the dot, booked at $890, got him $178 on that one. That's the lowest rate that I've seen so far. Then Independence, Missouri, coming out to Liberal, Kansas, 45K of seeds. 416 loaded miles at $1,550 gets you 373 a loaded mile. Then Freedom, Oklahoma to Lubbock, Texas. It's a 44.5 load of wood products. 335 loaded miles, booked at $1,400, got you 418 a loaded mile. Then Plainview, Texas to Laredo, Texas. Now that's 44,000 pound loads of seeds. Once again, this time 540 loaded miles, booked at $1,175, got him 218 a loaded mile on that one. So an excellent job, Shelby, running his dry van Friday to Friday. $7,715 in gross in 7 days, ran 2,721 loaded miles, 214 deadhead miles, gets you 284 per loaded mile, and drops it down a bit to 263. Very impressive with deadhead included. An excellent job. Everyone so far is doing a fantastic job. Moving on to Aaron, pulling a dry van coming out of Dallas, Texas to Edgerton, Kansas, 43 loaded weight of food product, 518 loaded miles at $1,200, got him 232 a loaded mile. Then Topeka, Kansas to Plainview, Texas, a 45,000 pound load of looks like pet products, protect from freeze on this one, 613 loaded miles at $2,000, got him 326 a loaded mile. Then Lubbock, Texas to looks like Burke Burnett, Texas. It's a 42,000 pound load of fertilizer and plant nutrients and herbicides. And there was a tanker endorsement requiring this one. Aaron got that. 219 loaded miles at $800, gets you an easy 365 a loaded mile. Then Wichita Falls, Kansas or Texas, going to Niles, Michigan. It's a 43,000 pound load of glass. 997 loaded miles at $21.25, got you 213 a loaded mile. Finished off nice and strong out of Parchman, Michigan, going to New Albany, Indiana. A great market, especially for a dry van. So a good week next week. 45,000 pound heavier load of paper packaging materials, 356 loaded miles, booked out at $1,200 coming out to Indiana. That's 337 a loaded mile. An excellent job, and you will have a good week next week. So Thursday to Thursday, Aaron ended up, looks like $7,325 in gross. Ran 2,703 loaded miles, 179 deadhead miles, got him 271 a loaded mile, and dropped it down to 254 with deadhead included. Also an excellent job. And last but certainly not least, let's take a look. We got Michael pulling a reefer, excellent numbers, very efficient dispatching. Richfield, Wisconsin, 1 pick, 2 drops at Covington, Kentucky, and a final in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Light load, 12,300 pounds of black cherries, black raspberries, pineapple, strawberry, margarita mixes. Temperature is between 45 and 55 on the reefer. 776 loaded miles, booked out at $2,900, got him 374 a loaded mile. Then an interesting one, 1 pick, 10 drops. Not many of you guys will do it, man, especially not for this kind of money, but this is all being set up. Came out of Coloma, Michigan with 1 pick, 10 dropper to Hurricane, Utah, Mesquite, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, Pahrump, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, again, Henderson, Nevada, Then we got Arizona's Kingman, Arizona, Prescott, Arizona, Prescott Valley, Arizona, and a final in Cottonwood, Arizona. Now, it's a 30,000 pounds in load. It's nursery stock, boom, 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 in and out. Temperatures at 55 degrees, 2,557 loaded miles. Got them $4,600 on that one, which is $1.80. But got them set up for a good week. Tuesday to Tuesday, $7,500 gross on the dot. Exactly 3,333 loaded miles. Only 76 miles a deadhead. That got them a 2.25 per loaded mile and dropped them just 5 cents with deadhead to $2.20 a loaded mile. Everybody did an excellent job. Make sure you do as well. Welcome back and thanks for sticking around. Guys, some really impressive numbers, I would say. Regular dry van solo over 10K. You got guys making over 7,000 bucks in 6 days or less. You've got guys, just absolutely dominating first weeks of January 2025. And the reason behind it is actually quite simple. Yes, absolutely, without a doubt, drivers had a huge part of this. And I always tell you guys this when we speak on a phone. Drivers are a very big part of this, but also dispatch, being able to efficiently run you guys, negotiate the right rates, be able to predict the market and where it's moving so they can move you with the market so you can scoop up all the best rates, have yourself a good week. And I've been doing this week after week after week after week for years, over a decade to be exact. And to be honest with you guys, we can't handle the entire market. There's only so much that we can do. But while we do have spots that are open, I would highly suggest getting at least more information about the service. You can do that by calling us or texting us at 801-448-6363. Also, a ton of information is available on our website at aftdispatch.com. And guys, until next week, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.